In this video, Dr. Jordan Danis will explain all the details about hantavirus. So let's begin the video.
Stop everything you're doing right now. Just pause and listen, because what I'm about to share with you could be the difference between you waking up tomorrow breathing easy or fighting for your life in a hospital bed with tubes down your throat. There's a silent killer out there right now. Not on the evening news every night, not trending on your phone, but it's real, it's deadly, and it's hiding in the places you feel safest. Your garage, your old family cabin, the storage shed out back, even the attic where you keep those childhood memories. It's called hantavirus. And for anyone over 55 or 60, it plays by much crueler rules. Imagine this. You're cleaning out the garage on a quiet Saturday afternoon, sunlight streaming in, old boxes from your kids' school days. You sweep away some dust, move a few things around, you feel fine. A little tired maybe, but nothing unusual. 3 weeks later, you're gasping for air like you're drowning on dry land. Your lungs are filling with fluid, your heart is struggling, and doctors are racing against a clock you didn't even know was ticking. That's not a horror movie scene. That's what happened to real people, good people, careful people, just like you. Now, I know what you might be thinking, this sounds rare, it won't happen to me. But here's the gut punch. When it does strike, especially in older adults, nearly half don't make it. Nearly. 1 in 2. Your body at 60, 70, even 50 plus isn't the same fortress it was at 30. Your immune system has slowed down. Those tiny defenses in your airways that used to sweep out invaders, they're not as sharp anymore. One invisible particle slips through and it goes straight for the control center of your breathing and your blood flow. Let me paint the picture even clearer. This virus doesn't come from some exotic jungle or crowded city market. It comes from the rodents living right around us. Deer mice especially. They look harmless. They don't get sick themselves. But they pee, poop, and leave saliva everywhere they go, and that waste carries the virus. When it dries, it turns into invisible dust. You walk in, disturb it, breathe it in. That's all it takes. No bite, no touch. Just one breath in the wrong place at the wrong time. And the scary part? It can survive in cool, dry spots for days, sometimes weeks. That old cabin you open up every spring, the basement you haven't touched since last winter, the garden shed full of tools, they're all potential traps. Pause and think for a second. When was the last time you went into one of those spaces? Really think, because this virus doesn't send a warning letter, it waits 1 to 8 weeks, sometimes before symptoms even start. You feel perfectly normal while it's quietly hijacking your cells, turning them into virus factories. Then the storm hits. It starts like the flu. Fever, body aches that feel like you've been hit by a truck, especially in your back, thighs, and shoulders. Headache. Fatigue that doesn't lift. You might think it's just a bug going around. Most doctors might think the same at first. But then it turns. Your lungs start filling with fluid. Breathing gets harder. Not a little shortness of breath, the kind where you feel like you're suffocating even while sitting still. Oxygen levels crash. Blood pressure drops. Your heart works overtime until it can't. This is Hantavirus Pulmonary Syndrome. And once it reaches this stage, it can go from I feel off to I need a machine to breathe for me in as little as 24 to 48 hours. Friends, this isn't meant to scare you into hiding in your house forever. It's meant to arm you, because knowledge is the ultimate shield here. I've spent years digging into how these hidden threats hit us differently as we get older. The body changes. Our defenses evolve, sometimes not in our favor, but that doesn't mean we're powerless. Far from it. In fact, the good news, the part that gives real hope, is that this virus is beatable before it ever starts. Prevention isn't complicated. It doesn't cost a fortune. But it does require awareness and a few smart moves that most people never think about. And that's exactly what we're diving into. But first, let me tell you about some real lives this touched, because stories stick with us more than statistics ever will. There was a man in his early 60s, retired, healthy, the kind of guy who prided himself on handling things himself. He decided to clean out an old barn on his property one weekend. No big deal. He'd done it before. No mask. Just got to work. A couple weeks later, what felt like a bad cold turned into a nightmare. He ended up on a ventilator, fought like hell for weeks in the ICU. He survived, but his lungs never fully recovered. Simple walks left him winded. The man who loved tinkering in his workshop now had to measure every breath. Another story from a national park, families staying in cozy tent cabins, kids laughing, parents relaxing, invisible rodent activity in the walls. 10 people got infected. 3 didn't make it home, young and old alike. One moment of exposure changed everything. These aren't ancient history. These are recent. And they keep happening in quiet corners across the country and beyond. So here's the question I want you to sit with right now. Are you willing to take a few simple steps this week that could protect not just you, but your spouse, your kids, your grandkids? Because if you're still with me, I know the answer is yes. You didn't click on this to feel helpless. You came here for truth and for the path forward. And the path forward starts with understanding exactly how this sneaky enemy operates and then building your defenses stronger than it's ever seen. But understanding this enemy means going deeper than headlines. Let me take you inside the body, not like a dry textbook, but like a high-stakes medical thriller where every second counts. Picture this. You breathe in that invisible dust. Just one breath. The virus particles slip past your nose, down your windpipe, and head straight for your lungs. They don't waste time. They lock onto special cells that line the tiny air sacs, the ones responsible for getting oxygen into your blood. Within hours, these cells become virus factories. They multiply quietly at first. No fever yet, no alarm bells. Your body is busy working, living life, while an invisible war has already begun. Then the real damage starts. The infected cells start leaking. Fluid pours into the air sacs that are supposed to be filled with nothing but air. Your lungs slowly drown from the inside. Doctors call it pulmonary edema, but for you it feels like someone is slowly tightening a wet blanket around your chest. At the same time, the virus triggers a storm in your immune system, a cytokine storm. Your own defense army, meant to protect you, goes into overdrive and begins attacking your own tissues. Blood vessels become leaky. Blood pressure drops. Your heart has to pump harder and harder just to keep oxygen moving. This is why Hantavirus Pulmonary Syndrome turns deadly so fast. It's not the virus killing you directly in most cases. It's your body's exaggerated response combined with flooded lungs. From the first real symptoms, you can have as little as 24 to 48 hours before you need intensive care. Now here's something critical for anyone watching who's over 50 or 60. Listen carefully. As we age, our immune system changes. It's wiser in some ways, but slower to recognize new threats and quicker to overreact once it does. Those delicate blood vessels in your lungs, they're not as flexible as they once were. Your heart has been working for decades longer. Your kidneys and liver clear toxins a little less efficiently. That means the same amount of virus that might give a 30-year-old a bad flu can push someone in their 60s straight into respiratory failure. The margin for error gets thinner. What used to be a minor inconvenience becomes a life-threatening emergency. You feel fine one evening watching TV with your family. Next morning, you wake up with a mild fever and muscle aches that feel deeper than usual, especially in your back and thighs, like someone took a hammer to your bones. You might brush it off, take some paracetamol, rest, but by evening the headache pounds behind your eyes. Fatigue hits like a wave. You don't want food, you just want to lie down. Breathing still feels mostly normal for now. This is the dangerous window. Most people miss it. They think it's seasonal flu, COVID left over, or just exhaustion. Then day 3 or 4 arrives. Suddenly you're short of breath even while sitting. Your chest feels heavy, heart racing. You stand up and the room spins. Oxygen saturation starts dropping below 90. That's when panic sets in, but by then the hospital race has already begun. I want you to imagine a real person right now. Let's call him Uncle Rashid, 62 years old, retired government officer, the kind of man who still wakes up at 6 a.m. for morning walks, proud of staying active. He spent one afternoon cleaning his old storeroom in Sahiwal, dusty boxes, old newspapers, mouse droppings in the corner that he swept away without a second thought. No mask, just a handkerchief tied loosely. 10 days later, he told his wife he felt thakahua, tired. By night, he was burning with fever. The local doctor gave antibiotics thinking it was infection. 2 days after that, he couldn't walk to the bathroom without gasping. His daughter rushed him to the hospital, Chest x-ray showed both lungs filling with fluid. The diagnosis came late, Hantavirus. He spent 18 days on ventilator. When he finally came home, his voice was weaker. His morning walks became 10-minute slow strolls. He still thanks God he survived, but he says every single day, I wish I had known earlier. Stories like Uncle Rashid's are happening more than we admit. In rural areas, in small towns, in homes with attached garages or gardens, rodents don't care about city limits or boundary walls. They find cracks, they find warmth, they leave their silent calling cards. And here's another micro-truth that should wake you up. You don't need an infestation to be at risk. Even 1 or 2 mice can leave enough contaminated dust to cause trouble. They're sneaky. They nest in walls, under floors, behind old furniture. You might never see them, but you'll breathe what they left behind. So what are the early warning signs you must never ignore after any cleaning or exposure in old spaces? First, sudden high fever with severe muscle aches, especially in large muscles of back, hips, and thighs. Not normal tiredness, this deep body ache. Second, headache that feels different, pounding and persistent. Third, dizziness or lightheadedness when you stand. Fourth, any shortness of breath that gets worse quickly, even if mild at first. If these appear together, especially after you've disturbed dusty old areas, don't wait 48 hours hoping it passes. That delay has cost lives. But here's where the story turns from fear to power. This virus has no specific cure once it takes hold, but it is highly preventable. Almost 100% preventable if you know the right moves. And the beautiful part, these moves are simple, practical, and they protect you not just from hantavirus, but from many other hidden threats living in dust and droppings. You don't need expensive equipment or complicated protocols. You need smart habits, the right knowledge, and the discipline to use them when it matters. Think of it like installing an invisible security system around your home and your body. One that works while you sleep, while you clean, while you enjoy your retirement or spend time with grandkids. I'm going to show you exactly how to build that system, step by step, tool by tool, habit by habit, because surviving this isn't about luck anymore. It's about preparation. You've already taken the first step by watching this far. Most people won't. They'll scroll past, thinking it happens to someone else. But you're different. You care enough to protect your health, your family's future, and the years you still want to enjoy fully. So stay with me. In the next part, we move from understanding the threat to mastering the defense. I'll show you the exact cleaning methods that kill the virus before it reaches your lungs, the masks that actually work, the natural and practical ways to keep rodents away without turning your home into a chemical factory, the early action plan that can save your life if exposure ever happens, and most importantly, how to do all this without living in fear, but with calm confidence. And now we move from the shadow of fear into the clear light of control. Because the best news about hantavirus is this: you can stop it before it ever starts. No vaccine needed, no waiting for symptoms. Just smart, practical actions that turn your home from a potential trap into a safe haven. Let's begin with the foundation, keeping rodents out in the first place. Start outside your house today. Walk around your property like a detective. Look for any gap bigger than a pencil. Mice can squeeze through holes the size of a rupee coin. Seal doors, windows, vents, and cracks with steel wool and caulk. Check the garage, the storeroom, the kitchen exhausts, even where pipes enter the wall. In places like Sahiwal, where fields are close and seasons change, rodents look for warm winter shelters. Don't give them an invitation. Inside, remove their food sources. Store rice, atta, and dal in strong airtight containers. Clean spills immediately. Take trash out daily. Don't let old newspapers and cardboard pile up. They love nesting in them. A clean home is a hostile home for mice. But suppose signs are already there. Droppings like black rice, grains, strange smell, or chewed packets. Don't panic, but don't ignore either. Here's the single most important rule when cleaning any area that might be contaminated. Never sweep or vacuum dry droppings. That kicks virus particles into the air like invisible smoke. Instead, you do this. Put on gloves, an N95 mask or better, and eye protection. Mix a strong disinfectant, 1 part bleach to 10 parts water, or use a reliable phenolic disinfectant. Spray the droppings thoroughly until they're soaked. Let it sit for at least 5 minutes. Then wipe everything with paper towels, double bag the waste, and dispose of it carefully. After that, clean the whole area again with disinfectant. This simple cleaning method kills the virus on contact. It's not complicated, but doing it right can be the difference between safety and a hospital bed. For larger areas, old go-downs, unused rooms, or your village house, ventilate first. Open all windows and doors for at least 30 minutes before you start. Fresh air and sunlight are natural enemies of the virus. Then wear full protection. N95, mask fitted properly, gloves, long sleeves, even a coverall if possible. Work section by section. Spray, wait, wipe, repeat. Let me make this even more practical. Keep a rodent response kit ready in your home, inside. N95 masks, heavy gloves, disinfectant spray, paper towels, trash bags, and a good flashlight. Cost? Less than one doctor visit. Value? Possibly your life or your spouse's. Now, for ongoing protection, think natural and smart. Use snap traps or live traps in strategic corners. Place them along walls where mice run. Peanut butter or roti works better than expensive baits. Seal entry points after you catch them. In Punjab's climate, especially during cooler months, pay extra attention to storerooms, attics, and areas near grain or animal feed. If you have a garden or farm nearby, keep wood piles and debris away from the house. Mice use them as highways. Here's a powerful micro-habit that very few people follow, but saves thousands of potential cases. When you open up a rarely used space, whether it's the old family haveli, the garage after monsoon, or your father's workshop, treat it like a biohazard zone for the first cleaning. Mask on, wet clean, ventilate. Only then relax and enjoy the memories. This one habit alone could protect millions of families in our part of the world. Now, what if you suspect exposure happened? You cleaned without protection 2 weeks ago, and now you have fever and deep muscle aches. Don't wait. Go to a good hospital quickly. Tell the doctor exactly what you did. I cleaned a dusty storeroom with possible rodent droppings. Mention Hantavirus if they don't. Early supportive care, oxygen, fluids monitoring dramatically improves outcomes. In many cases, catching it before severe lung involvement means full recovery. The body is an incredible fighter when given the chance. Let me share one more story that gives hope. A 58-year-old teacher in a nearby district found mouse droppings in her school storeroom during summer cleaning. She had watched a video like this one. She stopped, bought masks and disinfectant, cleaned properly, and even taught her colleagues the method. Months later, when others in her area got sick from similar exposure, she stayed completely fine. She protected herself and her entire staff. One decision changed the story. You can be that person for your family. Think about your loved ones right now. Your wife or husband who helps in the kitchen, your parents who live with you, your children or grandchildren running around. Every smart step you take doesn't just protect you. It creates a shield around everyone you love. This is not about living in fear. This is about living wisely. Enjoy your retirement. Enjoy cleaning old memories. Enjoy time in your garden or workshop. Just do it with knowledge and simple protection. The peace of mind you'll feel is priceless. Take action this week. 1. Inspect and seal your home. 2. Prepare your rodent response kit. 3. Clean any suspicious areas the safe way. 4. Teach one other family member what you learned today. Small steps, massive protection. You now know more than 99% of people walking around. You understand the hidden enemy, how it attacks, why age makes it more dangerous, and most importantly, exactly how to defeat it before it begins. This knowledge is your power. Use it, share it, live confidently, because the years ahead should be filled with family laughter, morning chai, evening walks, and beautiful memories, not regret over something that could have been prevented. You've got this. Start today. Your future self and everyone who loves you will thank you for it. Stay safe, stay aware, and breathe easy knowing you're now prepared.